This is Toronto's Chinatowns. You heard me right, there's more than one. In this video, I'll be exploring Chinatown East and Chinatown West, which is one of the biggest in North America. These neighborhoods are vibrant and a lot of fun to wander through. And exploring at night is by far the best way to experience Chinatown West, or downtown Chinatown as it's sometimes called. From incarceration to the freedom of Chinese hot pot selections, there's plenty to see and do. Join me as we cross the city by train, subway, and streetcar and explore these two Chinatowns here in Toronto. Hey, I'm Mark, and if this is your first time here, I make videos about places and experiences here in Canada. And today's video starts on the regional train service, GO Transit. I'm by no means an expert on Chinatown history, and I can't cover everything in a single video. So if there's something I miss or something you think viewers should know about, please leave it in the comments below. Kat joined me for this video, and our game plan was to head over to East Chinatown first for lunch. After arriving at Union Station, Kat and I made our way to the subway and took line 1 from the northbound to Finch platform. We took the subway to College Station and jumped on the 506 streetcar east. We got off at Gerrard and Broadview, which is right in the heart of East Chinatown. Our first stop was OG Seiichi Ramen Shop, which focuses on the owner's Japanese-Canadian roots and is run by some of the same people who brought us Momofuku. Kat had heard good things about this place, and it did not disappoint. I ordered the classic Shio Ramen, which is a clear salt-based broth, and Kat got the classic Shoyu Ramen, which is soy sauce-based. Both were delicious, but Kat and I agreed that the one I got was the winner. Amazing ramen, definitely worth checking this place out. Absolutely stuffed with ramen, we headed out to explore the neighborhood. Our first stop was the Zhong Hua Men Archway, which is the symbolic entryway to the Chinese community of East Chinatown. Interesting fact, the 2 stone lions were a gift from the People's Republic of China and cost an estimated $900,000 each. They weigh 3 tons apiece. Our next stop was right across the street. This is the historic Don Jail. It no longer operates as a jail, but you can tour the building and sections of the jail that have been preserved. It's free to enter, and you're basically free to wander all over. The building is really impressive and huge. It was built in 1864 and operated as a jail for over 100 years. The building is fascinating, and it's really fun to wander through the halls and around these big balconies. The preserved jail cells that we saw were actually in the basement. There's apparently some on the 4th floor, but we missed those somehow. It's pretty terrifying to stand in one of these tiny cells and imagine having to live here. There's information on the walls and a video playing that showcases some of the history. From executions to infamous bank robbers and escape attempts, this place has a morbid and entertaining history. The Don Jail is fascinating, and Kat and I were surprised at just how much we enjoyed ourselves. When things like this are free, I'm generally assuming it's going to be underwhelming, but this is cool and worth a visit. After checking out the Don Jail, we started to explore the neighborhood streets. East Chinatown started to evolve in the 1970s when many downtown Chinatown residents were priced out of the area. This area today is more of an enclave within the larger Riverdale neighborhoods. During the 1970s, the prices of this working-class neighborhood were significantly cheaper than downtown Chinatown. Riverdale was also attractive because it had a huge park, a public library, and public amenities, and it was right on a convenient streetcar line which would take residents to downtown. I don't know when this neighborhood started to decline exactly, but it was accelerated by Toronto's bid for the 2008 Olympics. Part of Toronto's plan was to build the Olympic Village near East Chinatown, and this resulted in property values rising based purely on speculation. Toronto, of course, lost the bid to Beijing, and East Chinatown prices dropped. Then came the movie studios down near the Portlands, which saw prices rise yet again. Many people in the community saw the opportunity to sell and move north to places like Markham, for instance. East Chinatown has been slowly changing for years, and the ever-evolving neighborhood has seen a lot of gentrification, as well as Vietnamese and other ethnic groups move into the area over recent years. It was about 4:15 when we hopped on the 505 Streetcar West and headed over to downtown Chinatown. We got off at Beverly, where you'll find the first iconic location of this neighborhood, the Art Gallery of Ontario. I made a video about the AGO and I'll link it below. Just south of the AGO is Grange Park, which is a beautiful open space with sculptures and a pretty cool view straight down John Street. At Beverly and Baldwin, you'll find the historic estate of George Brown, which he built in the 1870s. Brown was the founder of the Globe newspaper and one of the fathers of Confederation. He also co-founded the Anti-Slavery Society of Canada. In 1880, he was shot and killed in this very house by a disgruntled employee. Now we're getting into the heart of Chinatown, and like any Chinatown worth its salt, it has great alleyways. Before stepping out on the busy main roads, dive down the alleyways of downtown Chinatown to find some great murals and graffiti. Emerging from the dark and quiet alley, we were met with the busy sidewalks of Dundas Street. It was twilight at this point, and the storefront signs and lights were slowly coming on. There's just so much to take in around here. We just started to wander with no clear plan. Keep an eye out for these little mini malls. I don't know what else to call them. If you're a fan of liminal spaces or retroscapes like I am, you'll love exploring all the little spaces and the nooks that you totally miss if you're just on the streetcar. We came across this Chinese bakery called Chinese Bakery. My wife picked up one of her favorites, Hong Kong style cocktail buns, which is sweet bread filled with shredded coconut and sugar. At Filipino bakeries, this is called Pandy Coco. A little further west along Dundas is Huron Square, which commemorates the cultural diversity of the city and recognizes the Chinese heritage in Toronto. The earliest Chinese immigrants arrived here in the late 1800s, and the first Chinatown was actually located where Nathan Phillips Square is located today. Sadly, the city demolished the original Chinatown in the 1950s to build the new City Hall and displaced most of the residents of the area. Those residents moved west to Dundas and Spadina area, where the current Chinatown is now located. The city tried to expropriate more land in the mid-60s after City Hall was complete, but residents like Jean Lum fought back and won. The artwork here represents the resilience of the community. There's a ton of cool shops here on Spadina, and if you're looking for anything kitchen related, check out the endless aisles at Phong Trading Company. From here we headed south and stopped in at Dragon City Mall, which is another mini mall straight out of another era. So much fun exploring these places. There's a few food spots, a pharmacy, and the usual assortment of shops. We made our way down Spadina a little further and stepped out of the cold and into a hot pot restaurant for dinner. We had no idea that this was actually a massive chain of hot pot restaurants around the world. The first one opened in Chongqing, China 25 years ago, and now there's 1,300 around the world. We ordered two of the signature broths, one hot and one mild, but be warned, the hot is insanely hot, for me anyway. But it was a very good meal, and don't skip on the garnish and sauce bar. My favorite was topping my beef with raw garlic, cilantro, and sweet chili sauce or oyster sauce as soon as the beef came out of the broth. So good. All warmed up, we were ready to keep exploring. By the 1970s, this area was taking shape as the Chinatown we know today, and that growth would continue with new waves of immigrants from China. Over the decades, there have been many reasons for immigration, with a large percentage of those coming from Hong Kong. For example, fleeing civil unrest, overcrowding, Britain handing over Hong Kong to China, the Tiananmen Square incident, the Investment Act for those with capital to invest in the economy. And there's been waves of immigration from other countries as well, such as Vietnam and Laos. Today, Chinatown West is a pretty diverse population covering a wide swath of Asian countries. For my wife, this was a trip down memory lane. When we first met, she was living at Richmond and Spadina and would shop at a lot of these stores. This one is Chinatown Centre, and it's the big mall. Most of the stores, or all from what I could see, were Chinese clothing and specialty shops, with some food and services mixed in there too. Further south, our next stop was Sonic Boom, which is a huge record store. On their website, they claim to be the largest independent record store in Canada, which is pretty cool. There's an endless selection here, including tapes, movies, even turntables. Sonic Boom first opened in 2001 in the Annex. And of course, a trip to Chinatown wouldn't be complete without picking up some of our favorite Asian snacks. We went into Wei Supermarket, and this place is a must. They have lots of great stuff here, like live seafood and authentic ingredients, and the prices are good compared to bigger chain grocery stores. Kat used to shop here all the time, and I'm honestly kind of jealous. We got what we needed and moved on. We wandered the streets for a bit longer before heading east to St. Patrick's Station. Kat and I had such a good time exploring these two Chinatowns, and we uncovered some cool stuff that we wouldn't have otherwise found. Thanks so much for watching, and if you made it this far, please consider subscribing. And if there's other neighborhoods that you'd like to see me cover, leave it in the comments. Alright, see you next time.